Jensen, I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Did you happen to send me the other interview?
I did.
Did you? What did you send it under?
Whatever email is on the invite.
Okay.
Are you a tech nerd?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I need you to find me Channel 5, you can do it right now?
Sure could.
Uh-oh.
Can't watch it, though.
Cool. Yeah, that was the email I sent it to.
Yes, what did you send? Is under your name?
I would have been under the Hit Lab team.
Hit that. Okay, let me see.
Where are you from?
I'm from Michigan.
Oh, yeah, you're smarter than us.
Yeah,
then.
I got it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I
Where
got
in
it. Thank
Michigan?
Literally from a place called Midland, right in the middle of the.
Yeah. Yeah, I recruited a player from Alpena one time. I got there, visited the first day I got there, and it was minus 23 with a high wind, and the
Ooh.
national snowboard, some kind of, there was a convention going on.
Yeah.
I've never been as cold in my life. I had every bit of clothes I had with me. I put them on. I couldn't even, minus 23, the wind is tough.
The coldest place I've been to was La Crosse,
Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. Cold. I was trying out for the.
Just go about 200 miles more north and see Lake Huron has got Alpena on it.
Yeah.
And Bush Spear, that's where he's from.
It sound anything around the lake sounds cold.
Yeah.
It sounds very cold.
Wind is blowing. And
Yeah. It was cold. I just couldn't believe it. I didn't have no clothes. Had a suit on. Back then, when you flew,
Commercial.
standby.
Yeah.
You had to dress up in a suit to get that ticket for on your ticket. And I'm dressed up.
Why'd you have to go there?
Trying out for the La Crosse Catbirds, a CBA basketball team. And so I didn't know. I
Yeah.
was freezing my butt off, man. I had a 3-piece suit on, freezing.
Tell you
Who
what,
does that?
that could be fatal right there.
Quite fatal. Quite fatal. I'm gonna scoot up a little bit because this here, just a little bit. Am I good?
Sounds good. If y'all want to just keep talking a second.
Y'all apologize. I had cancer surgery 6 weeks ago. I had a parotid tumor. I got cut every which way. And so I can't pronounce a lot of words properly, so I'm going to do the best I can.
It's all good.
We can see here.
Yeah.
I see you today. You made
If
it on
if you start messing up, we're gonna throw you out.
Well, let me tell you something.
That's the rules of the high table.
Let me tell you what.
We don't play around.
I don't mind. I don't mind getting thrown out. I've been thrown out before.
We don't play at the hit lab, brother. I see them take people out back.
I've
They
never
come
seen a
back.
guy from Maplewood threaten me, though.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I should have known a guy from Maplewood couldn't give directions to Nolensville.
I'm just saying.
I live 5 minutes away. I was in front of this restaurant. I turned off on Holt Road down here, but I was right down the street 25 minutes ago.
But I told you where the barbecue place was, and you drove right there. So food is on your mind. Come on, man. Don't do that.
You guys are ready to go.
I'm in trouble, man. I need some security around this guy. I need some security. We good, man. Thanks for your help, man. I appreciate you. Coach, we're just going to start off. I'm going to give an introduction to High Table. You know, this is season 3. And I do my little spiel, and then I will talk a little bit about you, then I'll introduce you.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. I got some questions, but I don't think I'm going to use them. We just talk.
Hey, you can use any question you
I
want
know.
to.
you got
That's what I brought in my notes.
you got your notes. Okay. Well, we're going to start with this. Hey, this is David Sutter with the High Table. This is season 3. And so what you can do is, once we talk, the camera is going to shift towards you. Right?
Okay.
So that's the camera.
Yeah.
So you talking, and then I'll talk, and then it'll come to me. Yeah, at some point it'll come to me. So that's how we going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm good.
So we're going to start 1, 2, 3. Hey, guys, this is David Sutter with the High Table. This is season 3, and I have a very, very special guest with me. But first, before I introduce him, I want you to click like and share and go to my YouTube channel at The High Table with David Sutter and subscribe. You can see the other interviews and other hot takes and stuff. But This is a very, very special guest. I've been knowing this guy since I was 9 years old, running behind my brother at Austin P. in 79, 79 and 80. This is Coach Ron Bargatze. He is locally known. No, he's worldly known, locally respected as one of the greatest men in Nashville history. And it is an honor for him to be here. And so we had a little trouble getting him here. I gave him some bad directions, but he made it. Coach, introduce yourself.
Well, I'm just a friend of the program. I'm glad to be here, and the Sutter family means a lot to me. All the way back to your older brother Reggie, and he came to Austin Peay and played for me for a while. And Reggie was one of those guys with a basketball body built for NAI basketball.
Right.
He has a lot of talent. I love Reggie Sutter, and but after he played for me for 1 year, he wasn't going to break in the starting lineup.
Okay.
Because he kind of was a role player, but he was good enough to be a front line player at the NAI level. And
Yes.
so I got Frank Wilson to take him as a new addition to the roster, and he had a great career there and laid the groundwork for Trevecca's all-time greatest player, David Sutter.
I agree with that 10,000%. But I brought you here because, for one, I've always admired you. You stayed in East Nashville recruiting kids. You stayed in the inner city going to schools and working with the kids of the neighborhoods and stuff. And we really revere you, and we look at you as one of the greats that have ever come out of Nashville. Let's talk about where you're from and how did sports play a part in your upbringing?
Well, I was all sports. I grew up over near the airport.
Okay.
And was zoned to go to Antioch. I lived very close to Glencliff, but they didn't have a school then. They were adding a grade every year, and I was always a year too old.
Okay.
My sisters went to Glencliff, and most of my close friends were from Glencliff.
Okay.
And therefore, all I knew about growing up, all I knew I wanted to do was play ball.
Right.
And I played football, basketball, and baseball at Old Antioch High School. And we had great football teams, great baseball teams, and mediocre basketball teams.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I made the team.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
But I wanted to go somewhere to college where I could play basketball and baseball.
Right.
So I went to Belmont, and I played both sports for 4 years. I guess I was the only shortstop to ever play for Belmont in a 4-year period.
Okay.
I got there early. The starting position was available, so I played shortstop for Belmont from 1961 to 65, no interruptions. And we had very good baseball teams and mediocre basketball teams. You see a common theme here?
I do.
Mediocre basketball team. And I'm a basketball player.
Okay.
And that's why they were mediocre instead of really good.
What position did you play at Belmont?
I played point guard on basketball and played shortstop in baseball.
Okay. And so talk about your time at Belmont, because did you go to Trevecca first and then go to Belmont? How did that work out?
No, I coached at Belmont 1 year,
1 year.
as a grad assistant while I went to MTSU to graduate school.
Got it.
And then I went up to Cock County, Tennessee, in Newport, Tennessee, right on the North Carolina line.
Okay.
And I coached 2 years and coached girls and boys basketball teams there, and got my feet wet there because I was in the gym. I had B team practices with girls and boys before school.
Okay.
Girls and boys practice after school, and about 7 o'clock at night, I was getting really tired.
Oh man.
So every day was like that, and then taught 6 classes during the day. So
Wow.
it was and my starting salary with a master's degree was $3,300 a year.
Wow.
So that tells you how old I am.
You kind of old. You're a spring chicken. You're a spring chicken.
I think like a spring chicken, but I'm old.
$3,300 a year. Did you ever think that salaries and really expectations would grow like it is now? Did you ever think about that?
Well, one of the biggest things I learned in coaching and what the salary scale was
Right.
is when I left Trevecca, I went to Austin P
Okay.
and my salary there for Division I school
Okay.
had to teach 2 classes a week.
Okay.
Excuse me, teach a class twice a week.
Okay.
And one subject and then in another. But my salary at Austin P was $26,000.
Oh wow.
So about 5 years after I went to Austin P, and I just left coaching, Bruce Stewart came along, and Bruce had a nice run at MTSU.
He did.
And I can remember 2 years after I left my Austin P job, where I had gotten up to $28,000 a year, Bruce signed a contract for $75,000 a year coming off of their NCAA appearance.
Yeah.
And Bruce was a good friend of mine. As a matter of fact, he applied for my job at Austin P as an assistant coach, and I didn't hire him, and I should have.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest mistake I ever made in terms of hiring
Yeah.
a person.
Right.
Bruce was such a hustler, and he really knew how to get players in, which
Yeah.
he did very well at MTSU.
He did.
So he kind of broke the glass ceiling, and most OVC coaches then were making $40,000 to $55,000
Right.
in the that would be in about 1981, 82 area. So Bruce jumped up there to 75,000, and that's the first local indication I ever saw of that.
Right.
I saw it at Vanderbilt when I was coaching there because Coach Roy Skinner had been at Vanderbilt for 16 years when I joined him there on staff. And his salary got up to $31,000 a year at Vanderbilt.
And what year was that?
1975.
75. Okay.
74.
Okay.
Because Vanderbilt hired Steve Sloan to come in and be the football coach, and he had great success. People loved Steve Sloan.
Right.
But Vanderbilt had to adjust Coach Skinner's salary up to Steve Sloan. Steve
Right.
Sloan got $33,000 a year, and Coach Skinner was still at 31, so they upped him to match the football coaching salary.
Wow.
And then Coach Skinner, he retired in 1976, and he still was making less than $100,000 a year.
Wow. And so, all of this going back and forth, who was your mentors before you got into coaching? Because you became a mentor to so many people. You mentioned, I read up on you, Van Bredikoff and Skinner. You had you helped Rick Berg get your job at Belmont, or you turned him on to Rick Berg. But who inspired you initially, and who was your mentors coming up, if you can remember those?
Well, my high school football and baseball coach, assistant football, head baseball coach, was Gerald Mama Johnson.
Mama Johnson.
Who was a legendary coach in Metro.
Yeah.
And had a great career at Maplewood.
Okay.
And he was a real mentor for me. He showed me athletics in a different light than I'd ever known him growing up.
Right.
So growing up in rural Antioch at the time, you just didn't get what I would call guys who'd been around. Now, Gerald played 3 sports at MTSU.
Gerald Johnson.
Mama Johnson did.
Okay.
Played football, basketball, and baseball in college, and was good in all of them. And I think he was my first real mentor. And then Kenny Sidwell became a mentor for me.
Okay.
As he came in my sophomore year at Belmont as the head coach. And great man, a really good coach. Until that time, Belmont only had part-time coaches.
Okay.
And so they never had a full-time coach until Kenny Sidwell came there in 1962.
Okay.
And so I played 2 years under him, and then Wayne Dobbs, who later came and joined us at Vanderbilt, came in and replaced Kenny in 1964. And so I played for him my senior year. But Kenny was a great motivator and mentor and showed us a side of basketball we hadn't seen.
Right.
He was a great player at Tennessee Tech.
Okay.
And still one of the top 50 players ever in the OVC.
Wow.
He was a 5'8" point guard, quick, never missed a free throw, team leader and took Tennessee Tech to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. And so, would you say that coaching has been a passion for you, or mentoring young adults?
Well, it's I think it kind of is two in the same, or one in the same, whatever the saying is there. And please excuse me, I've had some recent surgery. I'm not pronouncing my words very clearly, so.
Neither am I. Okay, so we're
Okay.
good. Okay, we're in the same boat.
Because I think being a mentor is being a coach needs to be a mentor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're not interested in all parts of a player's life, then you're not a very good coach. I don't care how many games you win.
Right. I'll be when I coach a little bit. I try to input life lessons. You know,
Right.
The game is important, but how you do off the court is even more important, but more so in the classroom. What kind of coach were you? Were you the Bobby Knight kind of coach, or were you like a Coach K kind of reserved, but still get your point across?
A Bobby Knight type coach when the official missed the call. But I was pretty easy-going.
Yeah.
I did a few things I'm not proud of when I was coaching, but
Yeah.
overall I was I was more of a player's coach, I think, because I really loved those guys individually and tried to be a part of their lives when they were playing for me and then after they were playing for me.
Right, absolutely. And so you got into coaching. How was recruiting back then? Like, you really had to beat the pavement up, right? Go to different schools, different counties. How was that compared to now where you can just hop on your phone and send a video?
Well, one of the great players I coached was Lenny Manning. From Maplewood.
Absolutely.
But I had a history of getting Nashville guys into my programs.
Okay.
Tommy Springer, Charles Davis,
That's right.
to mention a few, John Sneed,
Yeah.
Carl Crane. We had a lot of good local talent. And I loved coaching, I loved recruiting in the mid-state also.
Okay.
And guys like Mike Rhodes, for instance. And to this day, Mike is a really dear friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I love him and his family. I had tried, when I was coaching at Tennessee Tech, I had tried to recruit his older brother, Dave,
Okay.
to play for me. But he went to Ole Miss because Ole Miss was at a higher level than the OVC.
Yeah.
But it was a great, I loved knowing the families of the players,
Yeah.
having them in for games, getting to know the little brothers and sisters, like Reggie Sutton had a little brother that I really took to because he had such what I'd call a bright-eyed and bushy-tailed guy.
Yeah.
Interested in he wanted the ball. He wanted to shoot.
I needed that. I needed that.
So I saw you come along and go on to become Trevecca's all-time leading player, and I took a lot of pride in that because of my Reggie connection.
Right.
And so that's just kind of the way I looked at things.
And so you're beloved by so many. Does that surprise you at some point?
I don't know. I don't go out to be beloved. I go out to try to make the world a better place if I can.
Yeah.
And I do that. Try to do that through relationships. And,
Absolutely.
And I mean, I just we had so many guys, Vanderbilt, Austin Peay, Trevecca, that were local guys. Because I think local guys, families come to games.
Right. That's right.
Take a little more pride. You know, you're on display every day.
That's right.
And the expectations go up, and that when you're chasing that rabbit, you get a little bit better.
That's the thing I wish more local colleges would do with recruit in the city. I think they do, but not like I feel like they should, because Fisk never recruited me, Vanderbilt didn't, TSU didn't. I got a phone call or two from Bruce down at MTSU, but for the most part, Trevecca was the only one. And Charlie Anderson wanted me to come to
Aquinas.
Yeah, heck yeah. Charlie was in my ear all the time. Charlie loved everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and Aquinas was very good. But to your point, hometown players mean a lot. They're in the backyard. They take pride in playing. Where'd you get the name Mr. Basketball?
I don't know. I didn't even know I had that name.
You had the name. Hey, I looked it up. Mr. Basketball, and I guess that comes from your arm has stretched out to so many programs and so many people. You mentioned Tommy Springer, who's a dear friend of mine, and I played against Charles Davis. Talk about those times in Metro basketball, coaching those guys. Well, in college and coaching those guys. Were they really that good?
Yeah, Tommy Springer's junior year at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
He did things that hardly anybody had ever done in the SEC, and that is he could advance the ball on the dribble and create mismatches and getting the numbers on offense with with a fast break or secondary fast break.
Right.
But Tommy was a force, the smallest force I ever saw in the SEC. But he was a good one, and I still stay in touch with Tommy.
Yeah.
Think the world of him, and he's doing a lot of ministry work right now, and I admire that about him.
Yeah.
So I talk to Tommy a lot, and Charles too. The Charles Davis recruitment was one of the greatest stories ever because nobody was recruiting Charles. He was he as a junior. I saw him get beat at Mount Juliet High School in the regional tournament his junior year, and Charles was about 6'4.5", 6'5" then. Had a gold-plated front tooth.
Yeah.
Had a bad fro, and they got beat. But he went in the summer after his junior year at McGavock.
Yeah.
He went to Louisville to visit with one of his relatives, and he played up there in the Dirt Bowl.
Okay.
And he also grew about 2.5 inches, got bigger, stronger.
Yeah.
And Tom Squires was a writer for the Tennessean.
Okay.
And I know that he covered you when you were in high school. But Tom was a good friend of mine. He and I went to lots of basketball games together.
Okay.
And he called me the first week of Tommy. Tommy had a lady over at McGavock that he was not married at the time. He was trying to court a little bit.
Yeah, court.
So that's an old timey word.
It is an old time court.
So he called me. He said, "Hey, RB, do you remember us watching the Mount Juliet region last year and McGavock got beat in the finals?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You remember Charles Davis and David Woods and all those guys?" I said, "Heck yeah, I remember those guys." He said, "Well, Charles has grown at least 2 inches and gotten bigger and stronger."
Wow.
And man, Joe Allen says he has really improved his game a lot. So I went over one afternoon to watch him practice, and I saw, whoa,
Yeah.
this is not the same guy I saw, 4 months ago, but it was the same guy, and he was much improved. So we kind of secretly recruited him.
Yeah.
We didn't want to create an avalanche, but also Charles was not a very good student at that time.
Okay.
But that didn't mean he wasn't smart. He just didn't have the background. Gene Wyndham was a great football coach in these parts for a long time.
Okay.
And his wife Mary Jane and Betty Payne were the two home ec teachers at McGavock.
Okay.
And they had taken Charles under the wing because in the spring of Charles' junior year, he couldn't afford to get a tuxedo for the prom. So Betty Payne says, "Charles, let's make your own tuxedo."
Made him one.
He made him one. Charles and she made this tuxedo during the junior year.
Yeah.
He wore it to the prom, and he was the best looking dude out there.
Wow.
And Betty Payne ended up being a really important part of our recruiting Charles.
Okay.
Because if you want a good local recruiting story, this is it.
Okay, I want to hear it.
Charles, no one was really recruiting him. Sonny Smith has always been a great friend of mine. He came into Nashville, and one night Auburn was playing at Vandy.
Auburn, that's that name. Sonny Smith from Auburn, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Charles Barkley's coach.
Yes.
So Charles had gotten on the radar charts a little bit because he had really developed into a great player.
Yes.
So Sonny says, "What about this Davis kid out of McGavock?" I said, bad grades. You don't want to, don't waste your time. Well, that started a little bit of an avalanche. And next thing you know, Stu Aberdeen, assistant coach for Ray Mears,
Okay.
got involved, and he saw what we all knew already.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is, this guy is a real diamond in the rough. The fro got better.
Yeah.
He got his gold tooth capped in the front.
Yeah.
He became more of a what I'd call a normal kind of a guy from his appearance. You know, and someone's appearance goes a long way.
It does.
And their attractiveness as a possible recruit. So Charles really got his game together, got his act together. Lucy Jones was at Vanderbilt as a ticket manager,
Okay.
and later became head of their Commodore Club.
Okay.
And her husband Doug and I grew up together. We were best friends.
Okay.
We bought a farm together in 1973 and built houses next to each other
Oh wow.
out in Hermitage. And Charles loved to come out. We had about 9 acres out there total, and Charles would come out and get on a tractor and do some things that rural people do,
Yeah.
and kind of got a new perspective on things. Lucy was a great cook. We had many meals out there together,
Okay.
and Charles, for a long time, was the only guy who could jump up and touch the beam in their rec room. So that got everybody's attention. We had a lot of players coming in and out of our houses,
Yeah.
but no one ever touched the beam till Charles did.
And was Charles 6'9"?
He was 6'6.5" then.
Okay.
He got to be about 6'7"
Yeah.
later on, but he was strong, good physical, very good vertical jump. And not in a few years after that, we had a kid from San Antonio, Texas, named Gilbert Salinas.
Gilbert Salinas.
He played a few years in professional basketball, but
Okay.
he was a great player. He ended up taking Notre Dame over Vandy, but he was up on his visit to Vandy, and he went in and touched the beam almost with his wrist. He was 6'10", Mexican American kid.
He could fly.
Yeah, and so Charles and Gilbert were the only 2 players who ever. John Sneed couldn't touch the beam. He was 6'9".
Right.
Now Crane could barely get it at 6'10".
Okay.
But that's just that was kind of our measuring stick for vertical lift and that sort of thing. But Charles, the recruiting of Charles went down like this.
Okay.
Stu Aberdeen got involved. Stu Aberdeen got him an invitation to the big high school All-American game in Akron, Ohio that year, and Charles gets on the plane to go to Akron to play in that game.
Yeah.
And guess who's sitting next to him?
Who's that?
Stu Aberdeen.
Oh my goodness.
He rigged up the seats where he could sit with him and recruit him all the way up there and all the way back. Recruiting rules a little different.
Oh
then.
my goodness.
So
He just so happened to be next to Charles. Just so
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell this story on air for the first time ever.
Okay, tell it. The floor is yours.
Hope your thousands of followers will enjoy this.
Well, we need thousands of followers, but hey.
Well, they ought to be following you
They should, doggone it. They should.
because they can't get this story anywhere else.
Well, this is an exclusive.
So Charles comes home from he plays in that All-Star game. The next weekend, right at the end of May, he goes to Akron, plays in this All-Star game, comes back home, goes to UT on his official visit.
Okay.
Excuse my enunciation.
Oh no, you fine.
He comes back on Sunday night from his visit to UT, and I'm waiting for him at his Uncle Mickey's house over in East Nashville.
Okay.
In the projects right there off Shelby Avenue.
Yeah.
So Uncle Mickey's house was where he would land a lot of times when he wanted to get away from recruiters, and because it had gotten kind of hot on the recruiting trail all of a sudden. So we get to, I go over to his house over in Murfreesboro Road, the projects there.
J.C. Napier. Shout out to
Napier
JC.
Homes, yeah.
Yep. Shout out to J.C.
And Charles' mom was very young when she birthed him, so she was only about 14 or 15 years older than Charles, so she was kind of still a young woman.
Right.
And I knocked on the door and I said, "Ms. Davis, where's Charles?" "Well, he hadn't gotten home yet. He's on a visit." Well,
On a visit.
to UT.
Mm.
And so I said, he should be home a couple hours ago. He's not here. I hadn't seen him. So I said, you think he's over at Uncle Mickey's house? I don't know. I went over there. And that wasn't the safest place for a honky college coach to be hanging out. So I went over there and was waiting around. No, hadn't seen him.
Okay.
So finally, about 10 o'clock that night, I get a phone call.
Okay.
Charles said, Coach, you looking for me? I said, I've been looking for you for about the last 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a little bit worried. Are you okay? I'm okay. I said, all right, I'll see you at school in the morning. So I'm at McGavock High School. They started at 7 o'clock in those days. I'm there at 7 o'clock, and he doesn't show up. So remember Miss Payne and
Yes.
Miss Wyndham?
Yes.
I went into their home ec department, and they hadn't seen him either. So I said to Betty Payne, I said, Betty, would you mind calling me when Charles shows up? Well, about noon, I get a phone call.
Okay.
Charles is here. I said, well, what happened to him? She said, I don't know, but he's not in a very good mood. I thought, oh no, that couldn't be good for us.
Right.
So I said, something's happened. Well, Wayne Dobbs and I went out to the McGavock High School. When his last class was over, we got him out, and we drove up to Lebanon, Tennessee,
Yep.
just to have a chance to talk in a good setting. And Charles wasn't the same Charles he left Nashville with 4 days earlier.
Okay.
He was kind of more sullen and less talkative. I said, Charles, we've been recruiting you for several months, long before anybody else. We've invested a lot of time in you.
Right.
You touched the beam at Doug and Lucy's house. I said, we need you at Vanderbilt. We need to build a program around you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I said, well, what happened in Knoxville? He said, well, they came out talking. I said, who's that? He said, Mears and Aberdeen. I said, what'd they say? He said, well, they're going to get a job from my Uncle Mickey. They're going to get my mom an apartment.
Oh my goodness.
They're going to give me $300 a month in cash, and they're going to get me a car.
And what year was this?
1976.
I got a question for you. Is this when at UT Bernard King was there?
Bernard King was just leaving at that time.
Leaving. So he came in 74. Okay, got it.
74, 75.
Yeah,
season.
got it.
And so at this juncture, I'm really getting upset because Tennessee has offered him more than
Vanderbilt.
you can. Well, yeah, we didn't. We offered him to help him get a loan on a 8-year-old car.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I don't guess that was legal then either, but we tried to help him that way. So I had this. We used to go scouting in person all the time then.
Okay.
We had these little handheld tape recorders, so you're making notes and talking into that microphone the whole time
Absolutely.
to help develop your scouting report.
Right.
Well, Wayne Dobbs had one on the back seat of his car, and I was in the back seat leaning up in Charles' ear all this whole time. So I said, Charles, you know what you just told me? You just told me of several recruiting violations right there. Now, you may not play for Vandy, but you sure as heck are not going to play for Tennessee because I'm going to take that tape recorder and send it to the SEC. Coach B, you wouldn't do that to me. I said, Charles, you did it to yourself.
That's right.
So we kind of went back and forth. That was on a Monday at noon.
Yeah.
He signed on Tuesday night with us.
Wow. That is an exclusive story.
He liked that one, didn't he?
That's exclusive. And so you're at Vanderbilt. Now, is it true that you left Vanderbilt for Trevecca?
It is. I stayed and coached Charles for 2 years.
Okay.
And then Coach Skinner left, and I was passed over for the head job, and Coach Dobbs got it.
Okay.
And he was a good friend of mine, and he coached me, and so I didn't hold it against him, but he was hired to be the head coach, and I wanted to be a head coach then, and I just read in the newspaper where Elmore Vale left Trevecca as the head coach, and the job was open. I called the president at Trevecca.
Now, what year is this?
What?
What year is this? You going to Trevecca?
1978.
78.
Spring. This was February of '78. Trevecca had just ended up their season, I think 3-22.
Okay.
And I wanted to be a head coach. I would take most anything.
Right.
So I called the president of Trevecca, told him I was interested in being a head coach. And now he didn't know me from Adam, the president of Trevecca, Dr. Moore.
Dr. Moore, yes.
But Jerry Hull was the dean of students at that time. And at Trevecca, the dean of students kind of is over athletics.
Okay.
So Jerry Hull was a usher at Vandy basketball games. Did a little moonlighting to supplement that Trevecca salary.
Right, absolutely.
So he says, he told Dr. Moore, he says, well, I don't know this guy, but I know who he is. He coached at Vandy, and they've had a lot of success there. He said, why would he come to Trevecca?
Right.
I said, well, he settled, and he said, he told me he wanted to be a head coach. So one thing led to another, and I got hired, and the rest is history.
So did you coach Calvin Holmes' offense?
I had an open gym in the summer that I went there,
Yeah.
like 3 months after this period I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I had an open gym, and here comes this guy in whose fro couldn't get inside the room almost.
He had a big fro.
And he says he had on some football practice pants, and he had taken a Sharpie and written down the side of those pants, offense.
Offense.
Because, that's his nickname.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed nickname. I said, Calvin, come here. Why is offense written on your pants?
Right.
He said, Coach, when I go in the game, it's instant offense.
That sounds like him.
And I signed him. And about his, he wasn't a starter to begin with, but he became a starter. And then about his 5th game of the year, maybe the 8th game of the year, Belmont had never gotten beat by Trevecca.
Never.
No. So we get in a big game over there, and they were more talented than we were, but we really had a scrappy team.
Okay.
And we played 4 overtimes at Belmont.
Wow.
And Fred Harris made a turnaround jumper from about 35 feet to put it into a third overtime.
So you coach Fred?
Yes, I recruited and coached Fred.
Fred, what high school did he go to?
Pardon?
What high school did he go to? What high school?
He was Charles Davis' teammate and classmate.
That's right. You're exactly right.
Because you had Fred Harris and David Woods and Charles Davis. That was a pretty good threesome in there.
My goodness, they were loaded.
Yeah. So Fred chases down a loose ball, fires up a 35-footer, no three-pointer, but just a two-pointer, but I put it in overtime.
Yeah.
And then Calvin takes it down the lane in the 4th overtime with about a few seconds to go and has a little hang time in there, kisses it off the glass in the basket, and we win.
To the house. And so this is on their court or Trevecca's court?
It's on Belmont's court.
Wow.
And, of course, that was we beat Lipscomb and Belmont that year. First time we'd ever beaten either one of them. And so that was the time that was highly celebrated.
Yeah, of course.
And got our team kind of off to a good start.
Yeah.
And we finished up. Fred got sick. Fred had a parent or something got sick. He had to go to a funeral. He missed our playoff game against Bethel, and we got beat in a close game. Got upset, so we didn't make it into the finals of the tournament. Fred was first time I called Fred and told him I wanted him to go to Trevecca.
Yeah.
You know what he said?
What?
Come on, Coach B. I'm not going to Trevecca. I said, where are you going? He said, well, I got some offers out there. I said, where you got offers from? He started moving around, mentioning a few schools, whatever he could think about. He didn't have any real hard,
right.
Except he was at Cumberland Junior College at that time. And so I finally talked him into coming, and he was our best player and great leader. Fred practiced harder than any player I'd ever coached.
Did he?
Yeah, he was a great guy to have on the team. Everybody loved him.
I played against him a little backstory. We used to play at Glencliff High School on Saturdays. Me, Tommy, Avery Patton, my brother, Calvin Peters, Charles Davis, Michael Jackson, who played
at
at
Stratford.
Stratford. And those guys used to kick my butt. Because, I mean, I was younger, but that's why I learned the game of basketball.
Yeah.
And so I figured if I could score a few points against those guys, Trevecca in the conference would be easy. And so I kind of based my success playing against those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they literally would beat me up. And, I mean, I was a 2-time All-American, 3-time All-American at the time, and they still was beating me up. Like, come on, man. And, they just treated me a certain way where I respected the game. And in this small gym, we played in a small gym, you had to box out, you had to screen, you had to pass, you had to hit the open shot. And so that is kind of my foundation of basketball and how I view basketball should look, that kind of way. Everybody got to touch the ball movement, communicate, everybody rebound. If you don't rebound, they're not going to pass you the ball.
So you had to work hard to get open.
Offense was going to Avery. Avery was going to offense. Charles Davis was going to Terry Catlin, who played with the Orlando Magic. It was just some good competition, and games would last about 3 hours, just yelling and fussing. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Just fussing. And so I like to plenty of guys that come to that gym, but they didn't come back because it wasn't no free willy kind of basketball. You're gonna play. And so with you coaching Austin P, Vanderbilt, Trevecca, and Belmont, you coached at Belmont, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your best stop if you had to rank them? What was the best place that you felt like you got the most out of the players?
If I had to do all over again,
Yeah.
I would not have left Trevecca to go to Austin P.
Really?
No, because I love the people at Trevecca.
Yeah.
You can't find better people to be around
Great
than
people.
there. And I love those people over there, and still do. Still very supportive of the program, but I'd always, at Belmont, at Vandy,
Yeah.
Tennessee Tech, I was more of a, I really identified with guys who wanted to be successful in life.
Right.
They were good students, and I found a kind of a mosh pit at Austin P of discontent. The school wasn't getting any money. My second year there, they said we're going to Division II because we can't afford to be a Division I program.
Right.
So we had the smallest recruiting budget. We had the smallest operating budget in the league, and everything was public record because it's a public school. So we had an uphill battle, and I just, going into my fourth year there, I told a friend of mine, I said, if things don't work out this year like I'd like them to, I'm ready to, I'm going to get out of coaching.
Wow.
So
What do you miss about coaching?
what did I miss? All the players and their families.
Right.
I mean, that's why I still go to a lot of high school games.
Right.
Because I love to watch the dynamic of how coaches coach, how coach player relationships. I like to watch a guy come in the gym, how he handles himself.
Right.
I took my wife year before last over to CPA to watch a game between CPA and Brentwood Academy.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see Tyler Tanner play, and I wanted to see him play.
Yeah.
He had 37 at halftime.
Halftime.
And I thought, this guy's the real deal. So,
He's a point guard, right?
pardon?
Point guard. Point guard. Is he a point guard?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Tyler.
yeah.
Okay.
He was SEC
Yeah.
first team point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He is a great player. Matter of fact, as you probably know, I've done a lot of
Broadcast
top 30 of players.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm old and I've been to a lot of games. So I guess that's why I get to have a voice in that. But the Tyler Tanner would be on my top 16 guys now of high school players in the Nashville mid-state area.
Of all time?
since 1950.
That's all time.
Yeah. Well, the game changed a lot in the.
It has changed. It
But
has changed.
I brought that top 16 with me.
What you
today.
got? Okay, well, this is an exclusive. Okay, we have Coach Bargatze is going to give us his top 16 in Nashville sports basketball
Nashville, Middle Tennessee basketball
of all time.
Yeah. Now, and you and I can discuss this because you have an opinion, and I worked pretty hard on this list.
Okay, go ahead.
Darius Garland. I don't think there's any question.
Without question.
Here's the one that people made fun of me when I put him in there.
Okay,
Brandon Miller,
Brandon Miller. Okay,
playing for Charlotte Hornets now.
pretty good player.
Pretty good player. Clyde Lee, he set the stage back in the 60s. Ron Mercer,
Okay,
Ted the Hound McLean,
okay,
Brandon Wright, Charles Davis,
okay.
Trenton Hassel, Clarksville,
Yeah.
Calvin Garrett, East, Mike Rhodes, Perry County, Corey Brewer, Portland, and Florida, 2 national championships.
Yep.
John Jenkins at that time, station
Ooh,
camp,
Yeah, he could play.
could really shoot. And Sean Marion, who was also a good player.
He was at Clarksville, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He and Hassel were teammates, and they got beat by Oakland in the state tournament.
Wow. Who did Oakland have? Dr.
You know
J?
what? I couldn't make that list now without Tyler Tanner being on there because he's first team All SEC as a sophomore. That's pretty strong.
Let me see your list. Okay. Yeah, good handwriting. This is your top 16 of all time in
From 1950
1950.
through 2020, which is when I did that list.
I gotta take a picture of this because I gotta put this on Facebook.
Okay.
See how people feel about it. 'Cause
Okay.
we love to debate, and that's kind of how I got started in the podcasting because I wanted a space to where people could talk about sports. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to type everything out, let's create a platform where people can just talk.
Yeah.
You know, and this is because you are a wealth of knowledge. You've seen all kind of players. Based on your knowledge of sports, okay, and you gave me your top 16, how has the talent changed from then to right now?
How would that list change?
How has that list changed? Because each year the game evolves in the area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to many games, so you know about the talent more than I do. What do you think about that?
Good question. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I spent about 2 months working on this list,
Mm-hmm.
and if I had to go there and the ones that came down to being, and this is their high school career.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, one of the guys who's not on this list right here or wasn't on the top 30
Right.
was Dante Jones.
Yeah.
And Dante Jones in high school was not that good.
He didn't have a long high school career.
No.
Right.
Matter of fact, I saw a video once. I was at TSSAA, and they were evaluating a situation where a fighting was involved,
Yeah.
and it was at Stratford, and I think it was Stratford and East.
Probably so.
And
Probably so.
So
Hold on. That's the first battle of the boulevard. That's the very
That's
first
right.
one. Right.
yeah, Dickerson Road
Oh
Boulevard.
my goodness. Scott Avenue, Gallatin Road, Dixon Road. Absolutely.
But they had the video of this fight going on. There's guys squared off,
Yeah.
swinging each other, and Dante's on the other end of the floor shooting jump shots. He didn't want a part of the fight. He
Yeah.
wanted to get play.
Yeah.
And I love Dante, and I think he was a great.
Oh my goodness.
But his best years came after high school.
Absolutely. I got wind of Dante. I went to school with his cousin, William Alexander. We played together at Maplewood. Dante came along. He was 16, 17 years old. And I just couldn't believe how good this guy was. He was young, athletic. We took him down. We had a big team. We took him and some more guys down to the Dust Bowl in Franklin, Kentucky.
Yeah.
At 17, he dominated an all-day outdoor tournament. He dominated the entire tournament. He was unstoppable. Next thing you know, he plays in the Police Athletic League with Kendall Stevens. I played in that league too. And then the rest is history. He go to a junior college and just, it clicks. He saw his future can be different, and he turned the corner. An amazing player, an even better person now. He got so many kids. He done help go to college and stay in high school,
Right.
and not get in trouble. He's in his passion. He's in his calling for sure.
Yeah.
A real good guy.
I love Dante Jones.
Oh my goodness.
He's just got such a good attitude, and I talk to him occasionally.
Yeah.
But I would liken his development as a player pretty much like Charles Davis, except he came along a little bit later. And Charles had a better supporting cast.
That's true.
And but I thought if I had to take one guy that's not on this list,
Right.
based on his overall basketball, I'd put Dante in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what do you think of the AAU circuit right now?
Well, that's a great question, and the AAU circuit is the forerunner of pay for play in college.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you, we had the Music City Jammers, a pro team.
I remember that.
We won the global championship that year. Tommy Smith was our coach, a great guy, former assistant of mine in Austin Peay. Reggie knows him.
Yeah.
Tommy came in and took a team. Our team was bottom of the league almost, well, one spot off the bottom. So Larry Smitto was the owner. His ownership group had the Jammers,
Yeah.
and he said, "We're out of the playoffs. Let's drop our high salaries so we can limp into the end of the year
Yeah.
and put this baby to rest." So we got rid of our top 3 earners on our team.
Okay.
Tommy took over as the coach, and we ended up winning the Global Basketball Championship.
Wow.
That didn't mean that much to people around here, but that league was great. It had 17 guys who had played in the NBA in the league, and 4 of them were on the Mid-Michigan team, coached by Cassie Russell,
Yeah.
who was a great all-time pro.
Yeah.
And we beat Huntsville 3-2 in a 3-game series. Then we played Mid-Michigan and went to Game 7. We had moved the team from Nashville to Jackson.
Yeah.
They became the Jackson Jammers instead of the Music City Jammers.
Right.
And they had several guys who were in and out of the NBA.
Mm.
And Cassie had all those NBA connections.
Right.
And so we won Game 7, and you know who the best player on our team was?
Who was that?
He played at Lipscomb.
Joe Bailey. No, not Joe Bailey. Philip Hutchinson.
Who?
Philip Hutchinson.
He was on the team, but Darren Henry.
Darren Henry. Oh, he could play.
He could really play.
He could really play.
He there was a guy that played in the NBA for several years. He was a tough guy.
Yeah.
He was MAC Player of the Year. Been up and down in the CBA and NBA. Darren Henry lit him up.
Yeah.
He made 7 logo threes in that game, and this guy's just going down the floor shaking his head.
Yeah.
So Darren was a great player. He helped us win that thing with that performance in Game 7, and then we went on to beat Joe Williams, who coached Artis Gilmore and those in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
The Greenville Spinners. We beat them in the final game. 4 games to 3.
4 games to 3. Okay.
And won that whole thing. And I've had a couple of old Nashville guys that I respect that keeps up with basketball.
Yeah.
They said the 2 things that the 2 accomplishments in Nashville basketball that people will never realize is Aquinas won the junior college national
right.
championship, and the Jammers won that, but it didn't get the publicity or knowledge that.
No, they should have. And see, I didn't know that. I may have knew that back in the day, but I didn't know it now.
Yeah,
You know.
that was 1992.
Wow. That's crazy. Because Darren Henry made it to the last cut, if I'm not mistaken, of the Atlanta Hawks. As I tell people, it's so hard to make it in the NBA.
Yeah,
It is so hard. Some politics, talent, and getting into the right place. You could get drafted to a team and they don't need your skill set. They're using you to move some other pieces.
yeah. You can name several NBA players right now that you didn't know who they were when
Right.
they came out of college.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's what makes pro sports so. That's why people want to get in there so bad, because for one, your life will change, but it's hard to make it, and then to stay. To stay in the league is tough.
You know, in all pro sports, if you draft a guy and he's the guy that you put money into,
Yeah.
he's going to have an advantage over
Yeah,
that guy
absolutely.
that may be better.
Right, and absolutely. Cash King. So you talk about all this sports and stuff. Have you written a book? Have you ever written a book?
I'm writing a book right
You're
now.
writing a book. Okay. And what's that book about? Because you've seen everything since the 60s. You've seen players come and go. You've seen the top talents. You probably seen 10,000 games, if not more.
Well, you know what? There's not many people are dumb enough to go to all these games I go to, even after I'm not involved as a active coach or player.
Right. So do you miss going into homes and sitting with parents in their living room and that type of recruiting? Because I'm sure it's not like that now.
No, it isn't. Now it's you go in, you register to go in the house, you bring your agent with you, and you find out what kind of NIL money I can get right now.
Wow.
And Casey Alexander is kind of getting a taste of that now, going from Belmont, where he had $75,000, $80,000,
Right.
to going to Kansas State, where he's got $2.7 million.
How do you feel about that?
It's the only thing that waters down my interest in college basketball, because it's not college anymore. It is
Right.
definitely who's got the money.
Right.
And I mean, there are guys. Jacoby Gillespie leaves Belmont and goes to Maryland for $600,000, comes back to Tennessee for $1 million plus, and help both those programs do well.
Right.
So they justify that.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
That's a lot of money. But, I mean, the money has been there for decades. I think it should be relegated to a degree.
Yeah, you need some regulation there because
absolutely.
only Kentucky had that NIL going when you couldn't do it.
Right.
You can't believe some of the things.
Oh my goodness. But them kids, it always come down to coaching at the end of the day. And that Calipari had a good team, but when it come down to X's and O's, I kind of feel like he was a step behind the better coaches. It's tough for 18-year-olds to matriculate their way through the NCAA tournament, then get to the Final Four. It's not about talent. It's about coaching. Coach has to be able to devise something almost every play. I'm not sure Calipari had that skill set.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't. Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with that. I think there's a little missing link there.
Okay.
Because sometimes talent outweighs what I'd call the cultural makeup of the team.
True. I agree with that.
So I tell you who I think Rick Barnes has done a good job of knowing how to use their resources and get pretty good results.
Yeah, but Tennessee's in a world of trouble. They got some stuff going on down there.
Oh,
And it's not good to look at. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of Tennessee sports, but I don't want it to look like that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They have to do better than that. That's unfair to the fans. I don't know.
What surprises me, because when you're an AD and you're balancing your coaches and your
Right.
talent and what it sends the message out of what our school is all about, what's
Right.
our athletic department all about. Excuse me.
He's fine.
Tennessee has been the standard bearer, obviously, in women's basketball.
Right.
And for them, they obviously has made a big mistake on their women's basketball program. And I think the AD, I like loyalty, but it's pretty obvious to me that Coach Caldwell is not of the ilk who's going to get it done like Pat Summitt or a lot of other coaches.
Right. Right. I think that sometimes oil and water just don't mix. And I think that you need a coach who has a foothold on the culture of these young ladies. You had a fine line. It's a fine line between being old school and tough and being loving. It's tough. These kids, your career is based on highly distracted young adults.
You're right.
Highly distracted.
I agree with that.
But we talked about Nick Saban earlier. His way or the highway. All the other stuff don't matter. I'm not sure you can do that now with the type of money that's being thrown away. I just don't think you can.
Yeah, it's a tough balance. Matter of fact, I think coaching is tougher now than it's ever been.
I agree with that.
Because that distraction and because you have these periods when you can make contact. You have these periods where you can do this, that, and the other. Now it's 365 days a year.
It is, but I tell you what, though. If you can win with 3 and 4 stars, you're a heck of a coach. That 5 star is going to leave after each year. I wouldn't even worry. I wouldn't invest in him. But those 3 and 4s, they may stay 2 years, 3 years. Like Tom Izzo, he never had a superstar. But he's always in the Sweet 16, Final 8 somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, he's one of the better coaches that's ever lived.
I'd say there's some characteristics between Nick Saban and Tom Izzo that are similar.
Yeah, absolutely. Old, angry, irritable. You know what I'm saying? And so lastly,
You talking about me?
No, I ain't talking about you. I ain't talking about you. Well, you cut from the same cloth. And so we talked about your sports history, and we could talk for hours because I like talking to the elder statesmen of Nashville and Tennessee sports. You seen me come up. You seen other players come up. If you could change anything about your career, not saying that you would, what would it be? Aside from leaving Trevecca.
Right. I would say it's a matter of being at the right place that fits your background and your philosophy and so on. There are 2 mistakes I made in coaching from where I was coached. One is leaving Trevecca and going to Austin Peay. I wish I hadn't done that. Okay. The other one is in 1975, I think it was, Coach Mears and I had gotten to be good friends. Okay. And he offered me a job on his staff. And I basically accepted the job, but I got cold feet whenever one of the last things he told me when I left his office that day was, one of the things I want you to do is keep up with Bernard. Okay. Because Bernard had just stolen the TV out of the athletic dorm. He was kind of he had a little deal where he could go to a nice steakhouse and get some food, but he abused that by taking friends over there. Yeah. He ran up a big bill.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't want to put up with that kind of stuff. That's not my cup of tea. So I like the guys to be more honest and more fit in with the program.
Got it. And I think you would get that with 3s and 4 stars as opposed to the 5 stars.
Because who says a 3-star can't be a 4-star or a 4 be a 5?
That's right. All about, and it's a dirty word in this era of sports. You know what that word is? Development. How dare you have to develop?
Right.
You got to be, you don't come in pro ready.
That's a good. Dalton Connect went to Tennessee because he wanted to be coached hard. And now he's been paid for doing that.
Pretty good guy. They're gonna need him to play well this playoffs. Yeah, for the Lakers. Well, Coach, thank you for coming here. Yeah, this has been a joy of mine. We just scratched the surface, and I want to have you back for sure. But any lasting words for my millions of fans out here? Millions. Anything you want to say to them before we go?
Oh, David, I love and respect your family. What you were able to accomplish at Trevecca. When you're the all-time leading scorer and best player ever at any school, that says a lot. And so I loved watching you play at Trevecca and love your family and just glad to be a part of it.
Thank you very much. That is the word from the Godfather. You know, we call Pat Riley the Godfather, but you the Godfather of Tennessee sports as well. Thank you again. Hey, guys, this is season 3 of The High Table. Once I post this very shortly, go to the link on YouTube at The High Table with David Sutter. You can see a bunch of stuff, bunch of interviews, bunch of clips, and you can also see the Godfather himself, Ron Bargatze. Thank you very much. Peace. That is it. That was easy.
Oh, we could do 3 hours.
Easy. Easy. I need that list. I need to take a picture of that list, Coach.
If I could talk without, I can't even eat right now.
Have you lost much weight?
Huh? I can't control my mouth, and if I try to eat, I'd spill stuff over me.
I'm working. Yeah. So have you lost a lot of weight?
No, I mean they got all the cancer out.
Yeah.
But I was diagnosed as having a Bell's palsy.
Yeah.
And what it was a parotid tumor that was in here, and the misdiagnosis caused me to have to lose about 3 months in the diagnosis and then it did a lot of damage. It was a very aggressive cancer.
Yeah.
And so I had to have a lot of stuff done. See that big knot right there?
Yeah.
It'll go down, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
So it's and I can't really pronounce all my words right, and I can't when I eat.
Yeah.
I have to have a bib on because I'll drink something that comes spurting out. It's embarrassing to be an old man who has to be like a baby.
Twice a child, once an adult. Jensen. Yeah, we're done.
All done?
Yeah, we're done.
How'd you do?
We did good.